welcome back to our second hour here at World Crisis Radio. We're probably going to go to Philadelphia for an update on the constitutional issue regarding Obama. Now, this obviously, with Obama preparing the attack on Iran, this constitutional question is posed in a very acute way. How is Obama being maneuvered into doing this, right? It's obviously bad for him politically, right? He faces the fate of Lyndon B. Johnson in some very acute form, but naturally he's blackmailable, right? We see the Blagojevich trial, the Rezko criminality, all of this pointing towards Obama. We've got this thing about the Man's Country gay bathhouse in Chicago, of which Obama and Rahm Emanuel are allegedly life members. But then we've got this question of where was he born and when, and the stubborn refusal to provide a birth certificate, which is not that certification of live birth, but a direct birth certificate typed in the style of 1961 with pen and ink signatures and all kinds of details about the doctor. So now I'm told we are joined by Phil Berg in Philadelphia. He needs no introduction really on this show. So why don't we just send the line over to Phil Berg for the latest on this important thing. Phil, I don't know if you've seen it, but John McCain in Arizona has you in one of his election ads.
Oh, no, I haven't. I think I saw it a month or two ago. Yes, I did see it before. So I haven't decided whether to bill him for that.
Afternoon, they show early tapes. They show you, and they say this J.D. Hayward is bad because he's interested in clarifying this question.
I think, do I ask for residue? Do I ask for commission? We'll have to talk about that later. But listen,
right.
Very important. We still don't have a date here for numerous reasons we're working on it. It'll probably be in October, which I think you even suggested, closer to the election. But all the information is on our website, obamacrimes.com. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but I just saw him on TV a few minutes ago on CNN. Former Congressman Tom Tancredo, Republican from Colorado, he is calling for the impeachment of Obama. And he was just on about it. He said Obama has violated his oath to defend the Constitution. He says that Obama is more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. He's taken over industries, and the Constitution, Obama states the Constitution's flawed, which goes hand in hand with what I've said about Obama. But the big thing is Obama is a phony. He's a fraud, and we have to do something about it. And I think as soon as we announce his date, because I keep getting calls, people want to go with us, we're going to have a massive march in Washington because people are really fed up. And a lot of people don't even know that this birth certificate, which you were just mentioning, is the issue. But even more important than the birth certificate is the fact that he's ineligible because he was adopted or acknowledged in Indonesia. And that's significant because the school records, which appear on our website, obamacrimes.com, has his name as Barry Soturo. If he hasn't legally changed his name, that's his name, Barry Soturo. And therefore, he committed fraud every time he signed his name in each of the 50 states and territories. And furthermore, I still think I'm right, and we just, I think last week I told you, we filed for a court en banc with the D.C. Court of Appeals. They asked us for like 29 copies of the brief, so I assume the court's probably in the 20s. We're waiting for a response. Hopefully they will hear our case, but I have my doubts since the courts have not been in our favor. But if not, we're going to take it to the U.S. Supreme Court, and that's on the issue of conflict of interest by Eric Holder. I mean, how can Eric Holder really make a rational, unbiased decision on Obama when Obama's his boss and he reports to him, when also Eric Holder was a senior member of Obama's campaign staff, and Eric Holder was one of three individuals who selected, on a committee to select the vice president, who selected Vice President Biden. So there's a major conflict of interest, and as I related before, that type case, which was sealed because the type case it was, a sealed case, the False Claims Act, or QUITAM, Q-U-I-T-A-M case, was sealed because of the nature of the case. But that case, all of those type cases have been up to the Supreme Court, and the person bringing the case, in this case, the relator, R-E-L-A-T-O-R, myself, the relator has standing. So where we've been knocked down on standing on all other grounds, this case, I think, is the case that moves in that direction, or it will inspire people around this country to say, what's going on? Because people are sick and tired and fed up with what's happening, and there's more and more people disillusioned now with the Obamacare bill and disillusioned with many other things Obama's doing, including, think about it, the takeover of business. I mean, he basically took over General Motors. He had the head of General Motors fired. They closed down a number of places. I mean, the Constitution does not provide for our government to be running these private industries, and Obama has really taken us down the wrong path.
Well, Phil, I would say that Tancredo's constitutional arguments on the powers of the presidency, I would disagree with those, because I think under the inherent powers and the implied powers, the Alexander Hamilton argument, the president has sweeping powers. There is the Defense Production Act and all sorts of other things, Trading with the Enemy Act. But I welcome Tancredo on the question of natural-born citizen, right, on both sides of that, right, natural-born and citizen, as you're saying. One is the Kenya question, or the lack of the birth certificate, and the other one is then the Indonesian side of it. And so I think we can certainly have a united front that's very, very broad on the idea of, again, the citizenship and the naturalization. But I would welcome the chance to debate somebody like this on the constitutional merits, because again, the powers of the presidency, I would take the Hamiltonian view. Most of these people are Jeffersonian or worse.
Right. Well, I don't know. Does it provide for the takeover of General Motors?
Huh? Certainly. Under it depends on how you do it. Obviously, you've got to cite the right laws. But if it's bankrupt and you decide to save it, right, under the Defense Production Act of 1950, the president can order any company to produce anything that is deemed necessary. We have a state of national emergency left over from Bush, and if the company refuses to do it, you can seize them. That was my argument to seize BP. If you say to BP, produce a solution to this thing, and they don't do it, you can seize them. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. So I would think that there's plenty of room in the big tent to have people who disagree on these things, but then to keep the question of the natural-born citizen in the center of it.
Well, I'm not sure he did. Have you seen him say anything about the natural-born? We'll have to check that further with him.
I don't know, because I think that's what he should be talking about. Because I think your case, the side of it that you represent, is by far the strongest, right? And these other people, they want to load other things on, but I think you got to really stick to that royal road, because that also gets you the broadest array of forces.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why I think I have the appeal to the Tea Party people and anyone that has discontent with Obama. You know, my position is come forward, with this, and join with us, because our issue is the main issue. If he's a usurper, if he's an imposter, then everything else he's done goes by the wayside. I've heard some theory now that they're even talking on the health care bill, how they're trying to change that around and saying, well, we're really taxing people because on the taxing authority of the federal government, and they're trying to get away with that way as far as making everyone have insurance. But the big issue comes back to he's a phony, he's a fraud, he's not naturalized, not natural born, not naturalized. I really think he's an illegal alien, and that's where we have to keep pursuing that. And that's why our appeal is to anyone out there discontent with anything that he's doing. And we're going to keep going, and hopefully we'll have a date soon. We wish the best of health with Gary Creep, who had open-heart surgery, and Gary was working with me on this, so he's still hospitalized. But everyone, please, after the show's over, go to ObamaCrimes.com, ObamaCrimes.com. Help us spread the word, and we will succeed in removing Obama from office.
Okay, Phil. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.